Ladies and gents, welcome to another horrifying episode of the Dead Lemons podcast with your host, Matthew.
Hola. And your name.
You're supposed to say my name. That was the whole point in that.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Well, that's already screwed
And
up.
Jan. All right, there we go.
Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone's been praising the gun because for those of you out there, I'm already like gurgling my words here. I haven't even drank whiskey yet.
It was the McFlurry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Avoid the Chips Ahoy McFlurry, everyone. It's just crushed cookies and vanilla ice cream. Not great. Not great at all. Anyways, for you gamers out there, I hope you and us have found the experience of Remnant from the Ashes.
Absolutely.
Oh man, what
Great game.
I've been kind of hooked on it lately, honestly.
Do not be deceived by the tutorial.
What tutorial?
Well, that little...
Oh yeah.
It was like the worst. I was like, this is going to be such a garbage game. Why did Jan make me get this? And then, but as soon as you get past that tutorial, it's actually fantastic.
No, as soon as you get past the tutorial where it kind of just babies you the entire time, it fucking slaps its huge ass dong across your face.
Oh, yeah. Virtually, or at least from what I've been following, virtually no story that actually matters. But the gameplay itself is pretty dang good. I would say it's kind of like a mix between like Dark Souls and what else? Gears of War, maybe?
Oh, but yeah, the third person experience with a little bit of Left 4 Dead in there, I'd say.
Okay, yeah,
Left 4 Dead and I guess Destiny as well with all the powers and all that stuff, whatever.
Definitely a fantastic game.
I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's like a lot of these games just seem to be very linear of yesteryear or earlier. They avoid boss battles now. It's just pretty much just here's the story, do this and that, and it's from point A to point B and nothing in between.
Yeah, and if you do get especially in these AAA games, if you do get a quote unquote boss battle, usually it consists of mostly action sequences. Mm-hmm. Press this button a million times, and oh no, press it at the right time here. It's just garbage boss battles.
Like God of War. Well, God of War had cool boss battles.
They looked cool, but the actual gameplay itself was garbage. I'm not a huge fan because it wasn't
challenging.
No, I like old school boss battles where it's like, okay, well, here you go. Here's a freaking boss with multiple different phases.
I know.
And good luck.
Essentially, that's what this game is. And the crazy thing is, I was looking up, some guides earlier, and it's like we haven't even experienced the actual base game itself. I know you and I have already purchased the DLC. Of course, if you recall, we haven't fought a single damn boss in the actual DLC itself. Maybe the siege wave, but I don't really count that because we're not really fighting, one entity.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're getting murdered by literally just basic grunts and fiends, maybe a bit of brutes in here and there. I was like, okay, we got to backtrack. But then as soon as I backtracked and, I was trying to level up, try to get some more stuff in there, I realized, like, wait a minute. Like, the whole randomized thing is actually just more than just changing the map and changing the enemies. There is a whole different set of bosses I have yet to see because I played a little bit solo myself today.
You bastard.
It's whatever. Must play. Anyways, I did a little bit of solo play today thinking, okay, I'm going to be fighting that shroud guy with the bow and arrow or the fucking grunt with not the grunt, the berserker with the huge axe and the exploding tumors that come across it. No, what I came across was, I don't even know to explain what I came across, but a fucking giant Cthulhu tree come out of nowhere. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And of course, save checkpoint, we'll get back to that because I cannot do that shit on my own. I pretty much just gave up on my own. But anyways, that's the game. We just want to talk about the game real quick, and hopefully more people do put some money into it, because I feel like when I was trying to play a public game earlier, not enough people were joining my game. And if so, when an actual person joined my game, they're way too overpowered, and I feel like kind of ruined the whole experience for me.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's not, EA or anything big. But as I think I mentioned in the previous episode, there is kind of more of a deliberate search for indie games. So I do feel like, because even something as cheesy as Among Us, that's been around for like 2 years, and just now it got big.
Yeah, that's true. It's been around since, I think it was like a lot of Korean streamers were playing it mainly back in the day.
So there's a chance that people will come across.
Well, it's definitely out there. There's definitely. Well, then again, you know what? I didn't really consider this factor, but we are playing it on Epic. Probably there's a bigger Steam community playing it then.
That's true. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because we were too cheap to actually buy the game, which I feel terrible now.
No. Hey, it's called being smart, okay?
I mean, we did fork over like $20 for the DLC, but
yeah, well, $10 each DLC.
But if you think about it, the full price game is like what, $50, I think. And I still they can probably even ask for $60, and I still would pay it for the amount of content that you get.
Yeah,
on the base.
But
game.
we did save $1 or $2.
Yeah, we did. Almost feel terrible for taking it for free, but we're already past that point.
Yes, sir.
Well, anyways, that's Remnant. We just want to start off on a light hand, but did you catch any of the WWE this week? The Smackdown?
Referring to the presidential debate?
Yep. Because that's pretty much the vibe that I got out of it. Like, it's literally just like people puffing their chests and monologuing the entire time, pointing fingers and like, hey, you're the bad guy. Though? I caught some of it at work during my lunch break, but I didn't see the complete debate. It was an hour and a half long. I only have a 45-minute break, so.
Yeah, I feel you.
So you're gonna have to fill me in on the rest that I missed on.
Oh well, I don't know what you missed.
Well, everything past. Okay, just point out the highlights that you think would be worthy of talking about. Or what you think is worthy of discussion. The
mediator guy from Fox.
Oh, Chris Wallace, dude, that's the first thing I caught when I started watching that. I'm like, this guy seems a bit biased.
Honestly, I would have to say I actually saw it the other way around.
Really?
I thought he actually did a pretty good job.
I mean, I still kind of
Number one, Trump made him laugh like twice with his Trump jokes. Okay, so he's cool enough to laugh. Oh man, what did I have to do? So he asks a question in regards to their campaigns. How Trump has these giant campaigns.
Oh, the whole COVID thing.
And how Biden has like a handful of people, basically. And so he's asking a question in regards to that, and Trump just goes, well, he would be doing the same thing I did if people actually wanted to go. And freaking Chris Wallace starts cracking up. So, I feel like that if he was actually a biased douche, he probably wouldn't have laughed at that. But no, I actually thought he was doing an okay job. There were definitely times where you could hear he's getting frustrated.
With Trump.
But to be fair, both of them. Because they like Trump is Trump. Trump has an attitude. He has an ego.
Yeah. That's a given.
So when you say, hey, this guy, your opponent, gets 2 minutes uninterrupted, is that okay? Like, do you agree to this? And then Trump goes, yes, but then immediately starts interrupting him. I would get frustrated too, to be fair, But I do feel like Chris Wallace definitely held pretty well compared to like the last year's, I think was worse.
Was it Megyn Kelly?
Not last year's.
Or last election.
Last election, yeah.
I think it was Megyn Kelly or something, I believe.
Somebody who was terrible. Yeah. But, yeah, so that was kind of funny.
It was a bit of a missed opportunity. I kind of want to see what Joe Rogan would have done as a mediator.
Oh, man, that could have been interesting.
Because if you think about it, like, if you want someone simply, like, out of the political scene, then just choose a freaking DMT head like Joe Rogan. His first question, have you guys ever taken DMT? And then immediately give him DMT and be like, now let's debate.
Right. That'd be interesting. I would pay to watch that.
Yeah, exactly. I would too. But whatever. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Everyone was getting... I mean, especially what's going on with Spotify, but that's a whole a whole completely different topic of censorship, I suppose. But Okay, I can see what you mean, but
yeah. So there was that. What else do we have? Trump definitely got under Biden's skin.
Oh, of course, when he mentioned his son about taking $3 million.
A bunch of different stuff, like several times.
The crime bill when he wants to, he wants to claim that America is systemically racist.
Biden straight up was like, shut up and like all this kind of stuff. I'm like, damn, dude, that's not a good look for you. There are people who are saying that Trump's constant interruptions also don't look good for him either, which I would agree with if he was brand new. Exactly, people already know that's Trump. So it's kind of like, well, of course he's going to do that.
Yeah, he's going to do that anyway.
Yeah. So I feel like that won't necessarily hurt him as much as if he was a brand new candidate. But they went over a bunch of stuff. Honestly, nothing terribly. I was hoping for more substance in the questions, but it's just about all the
touchy-feely crap like racism and all that.
Yeah. Oh, that was one thing that I did. I will say in regards to Chris, whatever his name is.
His choice of questions weren't really that important.
His choice, yeah, but the thing that honestly did kind of bug me a little bit is he's talking to Trump. He's like, will you right now take this opportunity to condemn the actions of, the white supremacists?
He has
all this kind of stuff.
Millions of times.
Exactly. And that I just feels like, really? Like, part of me wants to be like, okay, he's just giving Trump a opportunity to just say it on the record for nice and clear.
For 60 million Americans.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess, but I don't know. I do feel like that one was definitely a little underhanded.
I mean, he didn't have to. There's evidence of like previous like press conferences where he's openly gone out there and said he condemns white supremacy and he condemns the KKK.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
It's like they refuse to look at any of that.
Well, because they want to consider everybody who's on the quote unquote alt-right a white supremacist. So that
what is up with that? What someone told me the alt-right is a racist group. I always thought it was just an alternative to being a conservative on that side.
No,
like you can have conservative ideas, but also taking
you take alternative routes as well. That's ultimately what alt-right is, and also to be fair, there's no such thing as alt-right either. You're either on the right or on the left, technically speaking.
Yeah, I know, but even then, that's what I thought that meant. You're a conservative,
and that's what it used to mean. But everything's getting changed around now. For crying out loud, you don't agree with the BLM movement, you're a racist.
Hey, man, BLM and Antifa is only an idea.
Oh, I know. Oh, so dumb.
That
got. Did you see that?
That
part?
got under my skin a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Antifa is just an idea. Like they're not an organization. I'm like, what?
Stupid.
All organizations start as an idea.
Yeah.
At this point, but at this point, it's obviously a terrorist.
Yeah, and they're straight up being funded, and there's records of this. So, yeah. But the other thing that I thought was even more interesting, which people didn't start noticing until after the debate, was somebody, aka Biden, was wearing a wire during the debates, which he's not supposed to be doing. Neither of them is supposed to be wearing a wire.
Well, are you saying Trump is wearing a wire as well?
No. There's no evidence to show that Trump was wearing a wire.
But you said neither.
Neither of them were supposed to.
Oh, okay.
That's not allowed.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's maybe we can find some footage or whatever and we'll add it in. But there's two instances. No, not for you, dingus. For the people.
Oh, here you go, rushing to conclusions again. I said I've seen it. I know which footage you mean.
Right.
To which I will put.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah.
God.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Good.
But yeah. So there's two instances. The first instance, or I actually don't know which one falls in which place.
I've seen the one in the left.
Yeah, he has.
And everyone. And here's the thing. Everyone's defense is it's saying he keeps the pen there because for some weird reason his suit doesn't have any pockets. I'm like, that's bullshit. Most suits have pockets.
Plus, there was two of them on his wrist, and the way those things went down did not look like something falling into place. It looked almost mechanical. It was really kind of weird.
I was hoping the guy feeding him like the answers like accidentally spills coffee on himself and he goes, fuck, and he just going fuck in front of live television.
Good.
Because it's interesting, because like his demeanor completely changed from his previous public appearances.
There's a bunch of interesting stuff in regards to that. But anyways, so there's that one in the cuff of his shirt. And there's another one where he reaches, I don't know if it was his left or right hand, but reaches ever so slightly into his jacket. Looks like he's like rubbing or adjusting something. And then as soon as he takes his hand down, you see a little wire pop out. Mm-hmm. And it's clear as day. Not during the actual election, but, you know, when you actually go back and take the time to be looking for this stuff, it's all right there. It's pretty there. So,
what would be the reason to go to this much extent? Just to get this guy in office, it seems like. Like, who's the actual puppeteer at this point?
We don't know.
And that's the scary thing.
Yeah, we could be like Alex Jones and start pointing fingers, but...
But you consider Alex Jones pretty much just one of the agents as well.
Yeah, he's an agent of misinformation. Or maybe he's just legitimately crazy. But I do lean more towards him being there specifically to give people who have a quote-unquote alternative idea or theory of the current happenings. He's there to give them a bad name because he'll bring up certain topics that are legitimate in nature, but then add in a bunch of other crazy crap about like goblins and freaking all this other crap. And I'm like, okay, dude, you're yes, the pedo ring, that's real. Talking about goblins and stuff, now you're losing me, you know?
That's that fourth film type crap that they always talk about.
Yeah.
That the heads of the government or the shadow government is being controlled by interdimensional beings from another world.
Yeah. Which don't get me wrong. If that's the case, all right. But some things make more sense than others.
Of course.
You know, so if you're going to push something, maybe try to
let's keep it within the plane of Earth for the time being.
Exactly.
We don't have to go through any of those checkpoints to get to those other worlds quite yet.
Exactly. But other than that, you know, just kind of mediocre. I think there's 2 or 3 more debates before the elections, so that'll be interesting. I think the next one is vice presidents.
Kamala Harris, really?
Mm-hmm. Kamala Harris versus Pence.
You know, the funny thing is, I don't think Kamala Harris has actually done any press conferences or public appearances. I haven't seen anything about her. I
haven't seen much on her either.
But at this point, you know what? Regardless of either party, I think what I come down to, and this is just my opinion, is like, if you think one person's gonna solve all your fucking problems in terms of who runs the fucking country, then you obviously don't know how any form of government works at this point. I was gonna say governing. Government. I realized, wait, no, government.
Yeah. Let's put a bookmark there real quick. We'll return.
I know, whiskey time, I know.
You bastard, you took it away from me. I was gonna say we'll return right after this moment in the whiskey corner time place.
And you just changed the time.
Whiskey time. Anyways, hey, we got Japanese whiskey this week. Yay.
I'm not as excited about this.
Me neither. I know I've had this one before. I just don't remember if it was good.
Available to us because until you get your ID back.
No, we can fix that situation. I already told you. Anyways, point is, today we started a little bit later, so we wouldn't have gotten there in time. So, anyways, Nika coffee grain whiskey. That's it, really. It's Nika. Nika's a well-known distillery.
Almost sounds like you said the N-word.
Nika?
Yep.
Nika.
Yep.
Nika.
Yep.
Okay. Nigga.
Nope.
They have another one which is coffee malt.
Yeah, that was the pure malt one.
That one
was like
is
$100.
not the one that I've had. No, it wasn't.
The one at the store was.
No.
That was $100.
No. The coffee malt was $79. This one was $69.
I saw $100 up there next to it.
Right, that was not the one that I was.
That was the pure malt then.
Anyways,
is that any different from the other one though?
Yes, flavor-wise, big difference. 45%.
How much does this normally cost a total wine? I gotta ask. Like $40.
So we got this one for about $69.99. I would normally find this for anywhere between about 50 something to maybe 65. So it's not
too far off.
Yeah, it's not that far off. Definitely a little bit more, but compared to the Hibiki Harmony they had there, which was $200.
You almost got R-mode.
No, there was no way I almost got R-mode. I was like...
No, I'm saying we could have been R-mode.
If we were stupid and had no experience...
Well, technically, we did get kind of R-mode for this one.
By about $10 or $15, yeah.
It's still R-mode.
Anyways.
But it can't be as bad as the Harmony R-mode.
Yeah. No.
That's the word of the day, R-mode.
You're grabbing the wrong thing.
I'm moving it.
Grab your glass, sir. Kanpai. Well,
it's strong, man.
Definitely not as smooth.
It's not smooth
also,
at all.
I found several cuts on my lip that I was not aware existed.
Use some chapstick, man.
You know what, though? I usually do. I just didn't know I was having issues. That's actually, though, that flavor is what I remember. The flavor is actually really nice. It's just, it's not smooth.
It's strong, yeah.
It's very, very just punch you in the mouth.
Because we've been accustomed to, like, the last 3 that we bought have been really smooth.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that you and I both, when it comes to whiskeys, we're definitely judging our taste based off of what the flavor is, but also heavily on how smooth it is. Which is one of the reasons why I believe you and I love freaking Hibiki Harmony so much, because it's delicious and it's super smooth. This is definitely tasty. It's got that woodiness, but it's not like freaking Kamiki, which is just straight up nastiness. But it's got also a lot of sweetness, almost like a chocolatiness to it.
Well, I would assume that's where the coffee comes from.
Yeah. That would make sense. But definitely, when it comes to the pleasant nature of it going down your gullet, it definitely burns.
It's not pleasant. No. And it makes it worse for me because I had terrible McFlurry. Smells like rubbing alcohol, to be honest with you. That's the reason why I wasn't that excited.
Yeah, the style of cup that you drink this out of is actually very important. Because this is just all open, and
you need something more, the one that's kind of
a little bit more, yeah.
I did have those, but just keep the smell with it.
And our chaser here is Bundaberg Ginger Beer, Australian family owned. I might have said family, in which case I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah.
It does get easier the more you take sips.
The first several, though, it's like...
Getting accustomed to the change. In
might use that as a Listerine from now on.
The what?
This whiskey.
The what?
I'll just use this whiskey, this Nika, instead of Listerine.
Oh.
Can you imagine freaking swishing with that?
I guess, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, tasty. I guess I could see that on the list. It's a good one. I think it was good. Not for the price that we paid for it.
No,
but,
of course not.
But in general, it is a tasty thing. I think it would be. I feel
like that's where my bias is coming from. For the price that we paid, I'm like, you could have been better.
Yeah.
But then that was just being R mode.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, you don't understand, bro. Bro.
You can't get the prices anywhere else. I swear on my mother's grave, you cannot find.
That makes sense. If you go to
Total Wine and More, even though they're douchebags, they have it for more than half the price. Oh, it is different story, bro. They are a big company, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but the point is, I can find it for cheaper.
Why the hell would I come here? Clearly, no one's buying it. Your whole thing is still stocked.
Yeah, I just like that, because again, it was like literally, bro, you cannot find anywhere else for cheaper. Total Wine and More. Oh, that place does not count. It's too big. We weren't talking about like small business or big business. We were just saying whether or not I could find it for cheaper.
I'm banned from that place. I don't have 2 IDs.
I don't have it. I guess that's where he and I actually get along.
Well, we'll be back.
He's a nice guy. It was just kind of like...
He didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah. But anyways.
Your problem is you can't help but have this conversation with people, but that's where my douchiness comes from. As soon as I start hearing bullshit, I'm just walking away slowly from the guy.
I like to give people the time of day. If they're engaging in conversation, then I will engage as well. However, as I did tell you when we got in the car, I did stop myself from going in depth, because I could have listed other small businesses that had it for cheaper too. It's just...
Who gives a shit?
At that point, I just want to go get my food, come here, get the podcast done. You know.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was Whiskey Corner.
Whiskey Corner!
And hope you guys I'll reiterate again. So the whiskey is Nika Coffee Grain Whiskey.
Yes, and that is coffee spelled Coffey, which I believe
Do you
actually
pronounce that as coffee or
Cafefe.
cafefe? You know what? Whatever. Whiskey is whiskey.
Yeah. All I know is that's easy.
Now, mind you, don't go to some random liquor bar in Burbank.
Yeah.
Or you'll get R-mode. Unfortunately for us, this is the only option we had given the time of day, or time of night, actually.
Yeah.
So, that being said, back to Les Bookmarks.
Les debates.
So, what were you mentioning?
I thought it was kind of interesting that immediately after the debates, you had people that were so quick.
Shut up, man.
You actually do a pretty good Biden. You had people that were so quick to immediately start pointing out, see, Trump is dumb. When I'm literally sitting there watching the same thing.
Have you seen the media coverage?
No, I
think
not yet.
Every single form of media, after or post debate, it was literally just Trump can't keep mouth shut. Unpresidential.
Makes sense.
Just because Biden said very unpresidential of you.
Yeah.
Crap like
that. That was kind of to be expected, but that's all they had. Yeah. That's all they could get out of that, which is Trump can't shut up.
Did you notice the part where he started mentioning his son and he referred to his dead son as the topic of conversation?
Who did?
When Trump was like, "Oh, your son so and so failed out of I believe the military academy."
That wasn't his dead son.
No, he thought he was talking about his dead son. He mentioned Bo when he was referring to his other son who had the cocaine problem.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, lapse of memory there, buddy. Did you forget he was dead, or what's going on here?
Forget which son he actually owns. But yeah, it was.
Hey, fat. Billions have died from COVID-19. I'm gonna assume that his wire is what kept him from giving inflated numbers.
What do you mean?
Well, if you remember, was it millions of people have died from the pandemic? Or at least this time, he actually referred to 100,000, which is a more reasonable number.
Yeah. Which actually kind of brings me back to a point that I forgot to mention. Apparently, when both sides were discussing how the debate was going to go and the rules and all that, initially Biden said that he would need a break every 30 minutes.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Wonder why to just readjust.
Well, readjust, and the reality is there is a huge difference between the Biden during the debate, which is not great, okay? I still wouldn't want that guy to be my president just based off of the way he was talking during the debate. Yeah. But it was a big difference there compared to like a lot of his campaign stuff or whatever. So
I heard he takes Adderall.
Probably does.
Yeah. I mean, Trump probably takes something too. Unless he's just powered like that. It's his way.
Some people are. Some people freaking are.
I'm like, at some point in the debate, I'm like, holy, how much energy does this guy have?
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be on something too, but,
a lot of that testosterone, bro. Mm-hmm. Just that man gene.
But post another segue, but post interview, I feel like a lot of people are focusing on things I really don't give a shit about. Like the way that Biden hugged his wife, and everyone's like, "That see how the president loves his wife." But look at Biden. Look at Trump and his wife. They just held hands.
But did you see that big old smile that she gave him on the way up?
Who are you talking about?
Melania to Trump.
About what?
That looked like the smile of love, like the smile that is like, babe, once we get back to the Oval Office, I'm gonna make you feel presidential. Okay, I'm just saying. Melania is an interesting woman. I don't particularly care either way for her.
I feel like she's just caught in the middle of all this.
Maybe, but I will say that smile right there was the smile of a woman who was like very proud of her husband. So,
but that's not what the media likes to frame.
Of course not. They're not gonna try to give him any kind of credit.
They'll find every little thing.
Yeah. But
the puppeteers.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I really do hope they in the following debates they bring up more important questions.
I heard they weren't having another follow-up debate.
Yeah.
Are they really?
There's 2 or 3 more. Like I said, the next one is going to be with the vice presidents. So Kamala.
it's just gonna. No, I'm talking about like between the two presidential primaries.
In previous history, I'm pretty sure they have another.
In previous history, yes, but as of right now, I haven't heard a single thing, and there's been discussion of not having a follow-up debate.
I guess we'll see what happens.
And to which I think, if they're not going to have a follow-up debate, I'm assuming it's because the first debate was such a disaster, or the fact that Biden probably can't hold up in the second debate.
Yeah.
That's just my assumption, though.
What is with the Democratic Party and having, like, on the threshold of death, old people running? Because remember during
Hillary last year.
Yeah, freaking collapsing, having freaking seizures and crap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're all already dead, but they're being run off of like aborted baby juice.
Oh, what was that thing called again?
Crap, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, they had like a name for it, something Ellen DeGenerate was talking about.
Yeah, stem cell type stuff.
Yeah, I know stem cell type stuff, but they had a specific name for the type of whatever.
Yeah.
Dead baby fetus juice. There.
Yeah, dead baby fetus juice specifically for rich people.
Yeah.
Google it and you'll probably come across it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
anything else you want to touch on the debate? Because I feel like
no.
Honestly, like
I was actually expecting more to come out of it than what did. The only big thing is the wires that Biden was wearing, and then not even debate related, but the fact that like on that same day, the files on the Russia collusion investigation were declassified, which only goes to say, yep, it was started by Hillary Clinton and that other dumb lady, and the Trump administration gave it a go. I forgot her name. Rachel Maddow? I think so, yeah.
The CNN lady?
That sounds right.
Yeah, that was her.
So, so now that's public record. So that was the only, again,
I didn't
debate related, but.
Now, was there a reason as to why they did the whole Russian collusion thing, or there's being
Of course there's a reason.
No, what was the reason, their reasoning behind that?
There's, like, they're going to have it on record.
As in?
There's no reason on record, but there's always a reason.
Well, yeah, of course, but.
And it's more than just being a sore loser. These people are.
It was just a backup if they lost, pretty much. Were they going to use the whole Russian collusion thing if Hillary actually won, though?
Of course not. They wouldn't need to.
Exactly.
They wanted him out of power. Yeah. They don't want somebody. Now, again, that's assuming we're not dealing with a giant freaking 4D chess game at the moment. That's assuming Trump is actually a good guy. There's still the possibility that he's also playing his role in this giant freaking stage. But I will say, actions usually speak louder than words, and Trump has been following through with a lot of good stuff. So I do feel like
Sleepy Joe Biden.
Have a good time, Joe.
I've done more in 47 months than you've done in 47 years. Sleepy Joe Biden.
I'm really happy Trump doesn't sound like that.
I know. I have no idea.
Can you do a Trump, like an actual Trump?
I don't think I can.
No.
I feel like I had to pucker my lips up or anything. I don't know. Sleepy Joe Biden. That's the best I can do, man.
Yeah. The little.
Yeah, the little.
It's funny because my grandfather used to do the same hand motions.
Really? Yeah. One. Anything else? Are we good with that?
I think we're good.
I feel like we're good with that. Honestly, in my opinion, what I got from the debate was I wish I had those 45 minutes back where I can actually take a nap in my fucking car because I was at work.
I'm surprised they were even playing at work.
Me?
I'm surprised they were.
No, I was on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I went to, because I park on the roof of a Kaiser. So
yeah.
I go, great view, by the way. Kind of almost makes me want to vape again, honestly. It's very tempting. Just because, like, if I work the night shift, you have pretty much the entire view of the observatory in Griffith Park here.
Well, it's a good thing you gave your mod away.
Korean town. I still have my other one, unfortunately. But, anyways, yeah, I could have spent my time doing that or taking a nap, enjoying the view, instead of spending 45 minutes of my fucking lunch break, or dinner break, I guess, because it's a night shift.
Yeah.
Watching two old men yell at each other. Essentially, three old men yelling at each other.
Also, there was an interesting thing.
What?
If you noticed.
Sleepy Joe
They had
Biden.
a different color thing going on the camera that was on Trump.
Oh yeah, I saw the saturation a little bit. It's very dark orange.
They're doing that on purpose.
I'm like, he can't be that orange.
Also, if you look in the back,
and you look really sweaty too.
Yeah, if you look in the back, that screen in the back, like right near the middle, the biggest conspiracy of all. Mm-hmm. When you put the words together in between both connected screens, one said pee-pee. Legit, it said pee-pee. And I thought that was amazing.
Never mind. I thought this was going somewhere. No, but that's always been a thing though. Every single time they have to put Donald Trump on television or the news,
they do what they can to make him look bad, even if it is
as orange as they could.
His shirt was not white, but then it was weird though because in shots where it was coming from the same camera, not a split screen situation, you could tell that his shirt was just as white as Biden's, and he didn't look as orange. And then also there was like green stuff on his hair because of the lighting that they were doing. So there is a slim possibility that was just a mistake. That
oh come on,
you always have to leave some room until it's proven.
That's true.
So
but still, it's
but it
in the past, dude.
In the past, yes, known. And also you have to look at who these people are, who's in charge of these streams and stuff. So I wouldn't put it past them. Obviously, that's why I brought it up.
Which platform did you watch it on?
C-SPAN.
I guess C-SPAN's a little bit.
It was better than watching on CNN. Apparently, CNN froze or had issues. Yeah, so.
I watched mine on PBS, so that's just as biased.
Yeah.
That was the first link that popped up, And I always, it's interesting because you always see like CNN always has like the worst ratings, has the most dislikes, but for some reason, I guess the YouTube algorithm or whoever's in their pockets and all, they're always the first set of recommendation when you're looking for any form of news.
Of course, that's why you always find freaking shows like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon in trending and stuff, even though they don't have that many views, because it goes beyond the algorithm. Now it's just money.
Yeah.
Orange Man bad. Yeah, no, both of them, I swear. Like, Jimmy Kimmel, the only good thing about him is the 1 Iota concerts that you can go to for free.
That wasn't even him. That's
I'm just saying that about his show, I guess. Other than that, Jimmy Kimmel's not funny. He was funnier when he was like...
He's a rich, liberal hypocrite, dude.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're going to talk about systemic racism...
Like during the Emmys?
Well, before that. We'll get to that. Yeah. But the whole... do you remember The Man Show? We grew up.
Oh, yeah.
Kharl Marone. You remember that skit? I'm Kharl Marone. He puts on blackface and he tries to make a mockery of how Kharl Marone talked back when he was in the NBA by making him sound like a really autistic, slow person.
Yeah. And that was funny.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kharl Marone. And then fast forward to cancel culture, which we're presently living in. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was wrong of me. I've changed. And then how does he show he's changed? He goes on the Emmys and goes Black Lives Matter. Well, he's pretty much... It seems like he's getting whipped into saying...
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
There were several parts that you knew were supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And they were not. The reality is this.
One more time. Say it one more time.
As a general rule, the left, especially the extreme left, cannot meme. They cannot make a funny joke. That's why I feel like...
That's where I feel like, our side, I guess, we have to pick a side, is definitely good at, because we're all just fucking trolls. But
yeah.
You have to admit the left, unfortunately, do control a large part of the media.
Of course. Well, no, it's not a matter of admitting. It's a matter of fact. Yeah, it's just there.
Unfortunately, that's the source of information that everyone gets, and people watch CNN 24/7.
How many people is it that own pretty much every network? I think every channel and every network can be it's like 6 or 8 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every freaking channel, every network around the globe is owned by about 6 or 8 people.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they're not going to slip in their own bias?
Of course. Everything's biased at this point.
Yeah. So especially when you have news anchors and stuff. Literally verbatim saying the same thing.
Trump collusion, Russian collusion. Like, take a shot every single time they say that.
Yeah.
You'll have alcohol poisoning by the end of half an hour.
Sounds like a good time.
No, that doesn't sound like a good time. I actually care about my liver at the moment, okay?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Something else I was going to say. I got sidetracked.
Gun store?
No, well, I was gonna eventually get to that. I want to touch up on one more thing.
Okay.
But I forgot. So gun store it is. So, you and I have gone to Santa Clarita.
Yes, sir.
So Turner's is a franchise. I'm trying to realize this. So, well,
franchise
whatever. Chain. Every single Turner seems to operate differently from the other store. Santa Clarita. Oh my gosh! The second time I've gone there, even better experience. So much nicer than the other store. Trying to say that in an accent because everyone seems to have an accent in there. But everyone there was nice. They're very courteous. They were willing to help you out. And of course, first time we gone there, to my surprise, I can have more than 2 boxes.
This guy looks like a kid. I almost felt like it would be like, you're not even old enough to buy guns. Get out of here.
What are you talking about? The other Asian guy looked like he's the same age as me.
No, I know. But it was just such a weird thing to get excited over. But I understand.
Yeah, because every store I've gone to is only sold me 2 boxes. The other Turners only sold me 2 boxes of FMJs.
Yeah.
This place, actually, when I went back, they really restocked on the 9 mil. The whole rack was just filled with boxes.
Nice.
And when I went there, I was like, I'll get 2 more boxes because I went there with my uncle, hoping to find 45s. I'm sorry, 45 Winchesters. I go there, I buy 2 boxes, and he looks at me and goes, "Do you want another box?" And I even know why if he's doing the accent on purpose, or he's from Texas or Tennessee or something. But I'm like, I will have that other box. Grab another box. He looks at me one more time. "Do you want another box?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take another box." Okay, so I'm at 4 boxes at this point. And he's like, and then, of course, I start small talking to the customer next to me. And the gun salesman is exactly doing the same thing to him. But with this guy, he seems like he's really prepping for doomsday because he bought 300 rounds, 3 boxes. Keep in mind, these are big boxes, 300 rounds of 5.56. He bought 3 of those. So 600 rounds. I'm doing my math wrong. 900 rounds in total. From there, he moves on to the 45s. He ends up buying 4 boxes.
Damn.
From there, he goes to 308s. He buys 5 boxes of 308s, and then he tops it off with a dozen of 9 mils, FMJs. And I'm asking him, like, "Oh, are you going shooting?" He's like, "Hopefully not." So me and him were kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
But, it's funny to hear that. And as soon as I finished talking to the guy, joking with him, store owner looks at me again with this freaking Tennessee charm, or Texas charm, whatever the fuck he's from.
Southern charm.
Southern charm. "You want another box?" "How about 2 boxes this time?" I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm up to 6 boxes already.
You bought 6 boxes?
I bought 6 boxes, yes. I'm holding on to those. They're definitely not for the range. I'm only reserving those 2 that I bought the first time we went, and everything else is just in case, because November is around the corner. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
You got to be ready. So, he's there, and he looks at the rack, and he's like, he's playing devil's advocate at this point. I'm up to 6 boxes, and he's just going, you never know what's gonna happen in November. Literally word for word. I'm like, oh, this fucker knows this fucker knows what's in my head. Because I've been talking to this guy. He knows. He's trying to get in my head. He's trying to get his quota. He's trying to get his sales. So he starts going, next time you come around, these boxes might all be gone. Just saying. Might as well get them while you can seize them. I don't know why he said seize with a Z, but that's how he said it. And I'm just like...
Seize does have a Z.
Seize them? Well, I guess from them.
Oh, them.
You seize them? You never know when they're going to be gone. You can buy what you seize them. I'm like, seize them? So
that's one heck of a sales guy.
Yeah, but that's not even the whole... That was just one... This is my Santa Clarita experience with a gun shop. This is just Turner's. I haven't even told you about the other gun shop that I went to. Because they didn't have...
Also in Santa Clarita?
Because that guy bought all the 45s. So by the time my uncle came around, he's like, that guy bought all the 45. He's like, shit. So I had to go to a different store. So by the time that ended, he's like, well, pretty much I walked out with 6 boxes, and even then, as I was walking the door, like, they walked the ammo to the front so you can pay for it. He's like, last chance before I go to another customer. You sure you don't want another box? I'm like, you son of a bitch. No, I'm good with the 6, which is plenty, I feel like.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Well,
you never know.
Plenty for a reasonable...
like I said, I not for the range, just because November is around the corner. I just want to be ready because we all know what happened with the George Floyd protests here in Van Nuys. So, okay, so Uncle couldn't find 45s. So we start, looking around, Google, and, we come by this really weird shop with really good ratings, but looking at the pictures, I'm like, this is buttfuck nowhere. Is this really a gun shop out here? They're like, all right, we'll check it out. So, we drive out there, and it looks like we're literally driving through a desert at some point.
Was it on Soledad?
I can't say for sure. But, yeah, it was around that area. It's by that big Advanced Bionics building. I know you've passed it.
Okay, yeah.
But if you go past the Advanced Bionics building on the opposite end, you start hitting pretty much just nothing.
Yeah.
Just, beat up old houses, like a bunch of, like a school bus graveyard we drove by. And I'm like, where the fuck is this going? But then you keep driving up, and then you all of a sudden start seeing like warehouses, like, for truck companies and all that stuff. We pull into this warehouse, and there's this little store in the corner. I don't know if I should say the name because
probably not.
I should not say the name because definitely what happened in there was very illegal. So we pull up into the store. We notice, there's no one there. We park there. We step out. First thing the guy says, "Hold up!" Straight up just yelled at us as soon as we go through the door. I'm gonna have to ask you to take off your mask.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
Nice.
I'm not even joking. And then I look at my uncle. I'm like, well, that's a first. So we both take off our masks. All right, whatever the store owner says. It's his shop. He's like, take off your mask, go to the back, wash your hands, and I'll get right back. This guy had an accent, unfortunately, as well. Pulling off the Joel Osteen thing.
You say unfortunately, but you seem to be having a blast.
With the accent? No. Well, I'm trying to tell the story as vividly as I can. So, okay, so I don't know if it's his wife, but this is me joking with my uncle. I'm like, is he fucking his sister? But anyways.
Okay.
Because there was like a very young person. That's another thing I was like kind of curious about. It looked like a 14-year-old was running the front counter at first. Which is like, I guess it's fine for any other place, but for California, kind of bizarre.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah. So he goes there. I keep telling my uncle, like, hey, like, you're not going to get an AR-15. Like, at least one for the price that you want to pay for. If you want a decent one, I'd suggest you go with the Minnesota route and just get it from there and bring it here. Because the rifles they have there was either the shark fin ones and the friggin' the top off one where you have to bring up the top.
Yeah.
So it turns out the actual owner of the shop is a licensed gunsmith. And this is where the illegal, small talk started coming in. He's like, yeah, California has a bunch of bullshit that I don't agree with. I am a licensed gunsmith, though. If you bring me the parts, I will make you that gun. Just off the record.
You need to take me to the spot.
No, but the price he's asking for is a little bit absurd.
How much?
Like closer to like $2,000.
That's fine.
$2,000 to $3,000.
That 3 is a little bit much, but 2 is fine.
Yeah, depending on the parts though.
Either
so
way,
pretty much,
I need to go to the shop.
Yeah, we'll go there. But obviously the first thing I noticed between talking to my uncle, this guy had crazy fucking eyes. Like he really thought something was gonna happen because I took a peek because his bathroom is kind of around the back. So I go to the bathroom, go wash my hands like you said, take off my mask, took a quick peek at the back room, and that guy is fucking loaded with, I'm pretty sure, non-California compliant guns back there. Just kind of, he had like pretty much just a bunch of boxes just covered. And like,
could have also been the new shipment.
Perhaps, maybe, but knowing that guy, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, he had the crazy eyes and everything. He was just like talking like he was on cocaine or something. But pretty much along the lines of, at first he was a bit suspicious of us, mainly my uncle, especially the way he kind of presents himself.
Yeah.
He's looking for guns and all that stuff. He's like, I'd really like to get an AR-15, but he's like, he's punching the fin on the rifles they have for sale. And And obviously he drops the, I'm a licensed gunsmith. Just bring me the parts and we'll make it off the books. You do the thing. But obviously he was charging a lot for it. So that was one thing he did. Another thing that I wish he failed to mention was he was in the middle of a class action lawsuit, which he kind of jokingly brought up to us as he was making his purchase of ammo. Because I guess normally in a smaller store,
the owner or your uncle?
The owner. So apparently the state shut down his system to sell anything.
Oh, really?
So he wasn't supposed to be operating the store when we were there. But which explains probably the reason why there was no one parked there. It was an empty lot. So he mentioned that towards the end of the transaction,
of course,
which was interesting.
Of course.
So obviously my uncle is still thinking about whether or not he wants to do the illegal creation of a gun, an AR style gun.
Yeah.
So he just presented the idea to us. So he's like, okay, do you have any 45 Winchesters? Which he came in for. He's like, yeah, I have plenty. Normally I'd sell 2, but I'm kind of in a bind right now. Kind of going through a lawsuit right now. They shut down my system. So I can sell you more than 2. How many boxes do you want? You want to buy the whole rack? And he goes, no, I think I'm good with like 6. So he buys 6 boxes. And then as soon as he rings up the transaction, he looks at my uncle dead straight in the eye. You bought cleaning supplies. You bought $200 worth of cleaning supplies for your gun. That's it. Because obviously you have to do the whole sign, your thumbprint. Yeah. No, his system was down. He wasn't supposed to be operating that day. He wasn't supposed to be open or selling anything, but he was open anyway.
Bro, if you don't work tomorrow morning,
we'll see.
Yeah, because dude, you don't come by those kind of shops very often.
Yeah.
Especially in freaking SoCal.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It's also sketchy.
It's very sketchy.
Cool, though.
It's very sketchy. But, to go from a Turner's like, oh, this is awesome. Like, everything is going nicely. You don't have to wait in the hot sun. Everyone's nice. To go to the, I'll make you anything.
Yeah. Hey, but see, to me, I feel like that would have been, you would have been worried that you were going to get stabbed in the back on your way out. But also at the same time, the excitement of like, oh, this is like some John Wick shit, man. He'll make me anything. But interesting.
Now he's shown me a couple of guns, and the funny thing is he has pretty decently because obviously all he needs is he has the receiver ready, so you just have to bring him with
your uncle.
Else. No. Gunsmith himself. It's funny because he was bringing up guns. He's like, see right here. Made in Valencia, Smith by, I won't say his name, mentioned. But the one he was showing us in the front desk was a California compliant one with the top off. But then he's like, but if you want, I can always make you one off the records. Now it's going to be fucking expensive. I'm not going to do it. I don't think my uncle's going to do it because he's too much of a Jew.
Well, the average price in California for a relatively good and reliable AR is going to run you about at least $1,300 to $1,500. I'm talking about like that on for a reliable system, that's average. So if you're getting something custom made, plus on top of that, it's off the record, that's not really that expensive. Again, 3 is a bit pushing it for me, but if you got something around the $2,000 range, that's not bad.
Well, now,
But also, we're not endorsing this. We're just talking about how it's an interesting reality.
I just wanted to say that. We're not endorsing this. And, and to add on top of that, I have no idea how reliable this guy is. And I have no idea if anything he says is 100% true.
Which is why I should go and double check.
Because that guy had, he had the eyes. He's a little bit on the cuckoo side.
Sometimes those eyes come from years of experience and coming to a certain understanding that most of us don't know.
Right.
Well, and also sometimes it just comes out of the fact that you're crazy. So.
Yeah, but it's a bit concerning where he says his system was down and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Whatever. Well, that's the whole situation. The funny thing is, as soon as I stepped out, we're leaving, and then we both got in the car. I'm like, well, that was interesting. Well, at least I know where to go when I need bullets.
There you go.
Santa Clarita.
Oh, man. Very, very interesting. Speaking of interesting.
What is interesting?
Your Bill Gates story.
Oh.
Not actual Bill Gates.
Not actual Bill Gates. Okay, yeah. So this conversation I had during happy hour. So this was, in between the two gun stores.
Mm-hmm.
Won't say the company's name.
Okay, good.
Just for reasons. Because I could depending on how it goes, I can be potentially employed by them as a side job. But so my uncle, he's a partner in this company. He shares it with I guess 2 other people that have kind of started this whole COVID remote testing thing based on barcodes and all this stuff. But to long story short, one of the guys is trying to push for not just privately testing different companies or employees. He wants to push for Live Nation. Okay. And if you know what Live Nation is, we've gone through, obviously, bought tickets through Live Nation.
Yeah.
And what he plans to do with partnership with Live Nation is, I don't know if this is set in stone, but he definitely wants to push it on a bigger scale. The ambitious, I'm assuming Jewish, Jew as he is, he wants to do something along the lines of, he wants to bring live concerts back. He wants to bring public outings, schools and all that stuff, which is kind of in line with the whole Bill Gates contact tracing thing, but he wants to use his platform, which is, if you want to come to a concert again, you have to pay, on top of the ticket fee and the transaction fee, you're going to have to pay for a COVID testing fee now. And what the COVID testing fee is, you have to, through Live Nation, you have to download a secondary QR code app, meaning that you go here, you pay for the test, the test comes in, and you get a code with your results, a QR code. So you're not just scanning the QR code for your ticket, you scan the QR code for your COVID test.
Right.
And with that COVID test, it shows whether or not you have it, and then you can come into the venue or wherever they're having the live concert. Now, that's just the beginning of what he wants to do, and there are already talks of doing this with Live Nation. He wants to push this into other things, such as, any other public outing, which is restaurants, malls, any other area that we normally go to for a social outing. You're going to need your phone, you're going to need a QR code, and you need to prove that you're COVID-free. And that's what he's trying to push, and he's been, unfortunately, from what I've heard, and, from my uncle saying this, he feels like this is very unethical.
It is.
It only should be kept within just the work environment, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But what it seems like he's pushed the idea, and he's been kind of back and forth with his partner. But I guess along the lines of what Bill Gates is trying to do, he's trying to push this whole, I guess, QR code, remote testing, COVID thing for pretty much going to any public area at this point, which I feel is kind of concerning. And it's kind of close to home to me a little bit.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts?
It's bad.
It's bad, yeah. It's bad. It's literally along the lines of, show me your papers!
Yeah. No, literally. So I had heard
which is
some
weird,
whispers
I'm assuming
of Bill
he's Jewish.
Gates. Who?
The guy. I'm assuming he's Jewish.
Stupid.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, I have heard whispers of Bill Gates contact tracing stuff.
This is a different
while back. While back.
Well, that's
but even back then,
I
was like, that doesn't sound very ethical. That's not a smart choice. And then now with all of this whole COVID garbage, especially as long as it's lasted.
See, that's the one thing though, like, because you hear it from Bill Gates and you expect it because he's always talked about this in the past. I guess the concerning thing for me is this is someone that I know who works in the the market for that, and then there's already talks of
because here's the thing.
This shit.
Well, here's the thing. You know why it's being talked about? Because no one gives a rat's ass about
whether or not it's hurting
ethics.
It's just they're trying to make a big buck out of it.
Exactly. So that's why for me, I would have no part of it. Unless
not
like,
even for Duran Gray.
If you were in a position of power within that company to direct it away from essentially a weird freaking like Nazi Germany type status.
Well, that's exactly why, I kind of became closer to my uncle that day, because I admired the fact that he stood ground and said, I'm not doing this, man.
Yeah.
That's just
no, that's good.
We should we should strictly keep this at a business standpoint so employers can find ways to get their employees to come back and work.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case with COVID protocols, yes, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Anything else other than that, like Live Nation and public outings and all that stuff, you need to show me that you're COVID free to take part in this. It's show me your papers, pretty much.
Yeah. I hope we never get to that point. That's what
so
I'm telling
either.
you, man. The election is going to be a very, very, very interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Trump doesn't win, I would not be well.
It doesn't.
So we joked about it before.
You can't 100% just rely everything on just Donald Trump, though.
No, but him being reelected would be a major flag, not necessarily a red flag, but it would be a flag to see, okay, where is this country going? If he doesn't win, then either one, COVID almost immediately gone, right? That's what we joked about before.
Biden was the cure.
Or they try to keep it they try to keep it this way, so because who doesn't like having the control and the power, so it's not impossible that Biden wins and then all of a sudden they roll through with this freaking contact tracing stuff where you have to show proof and everything wherever the heck you go,
right?
So that's not impossible, but
if you have a way to, if ever you wanted to keep your populace in check, now is the time.
Absolutely.
You divide and conquer.
Yeah.
In terms of division, left and right, Antifa, BLM, the police, Proud Boys, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. Boogaloos.
Divide those people and then conquer, I guess.
Yeah, well, they're doing a great job as far as the vision goes, but at the same time, I don't know.
But people fail to see that. I mean, you go on Facebook, unfortunately, and like I can't help but just tune myself out to what people think is important. It's like, if you find being emotional and pointing the finger and calling it systemic racism is your way of fighting the man or the establishment, then my friend, you don't understand anything, because essentially either side is pretty much just wrong at this point. It's pointing the fingers constantly. If you want to come together, you got to find common ground. Unfortunately, you don't want to find common ground, or even look at the fucking facts.
Yeah,
like I'm beating a dead horse here, and I'm gonna keep constantly saying it. If ever you feel like you're being oppressed and you're a slave to the system, being your Antifa, you're probably just a disgruntled college kid who has a lot of fucking student loan debt.
Yeah.
And I feel for you, because that was almost me. And I can see why you'd be frustrated, because you were led to believe that getting yourself into this much debt to get a piece of paper that says you're qualified to do this is the way to true happiness, and you're going to make money and to have everything shatter. I'm sorry, but that's not how the world works, and you were just lied to. Or you're the BLM protester saying, hey, I'm of this color and I was raised to be oppressed. No, you're not oppressed. You want to look at true oppression? Let's go look at China. Let's go look at those Uyghur Muslim, because that's what slavery is currently. And that's not what you're going through, buddy. No. And until you realize that you're in a country that allows you to say these things that are pretty much blasphemous at this point, it's like, that's a form of freedom itself, and you should appreciate what you have.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Gotta gabba the gook, you know what I mean?
Gabba the gook?
Gabba the gook.
That sounds pretty racist.
Gabba the gook. As a Sopranos, gabba the gook. All right. Well, everyone, we are at the end of our episode. Closing remarks, go. Jesus Christ, you're too slow.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the damn election, man. But legit, not
unless they're destroying all of our ballots like we've seen in recent news.
I'm looking forward to using my gun in either celebration or self-defense. One of the two. Either way, I get to use it.
You know how badly I want to go to the range, but
let's go, bro.
I shouldn't.
Why?
I need these rounds, man. November's around the corner. I don't know when I'm gonna get ammo again.
That's why we go tomorrow. See what we don't necessarily have to buy ammo tomorrow. I definitely want to buy some 12 gauge. I need more 12 gauge. Yeah, whatever.
Well, we'll see.
Point is, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. And if you got past the really cringy Remnant from the Ashes conversation we had, which is 4 minutes.
It's not that cringy. We're just talking about a game.
I mean, it was definitely like trying to break the iceberg because it was a very like
I guess,
unconventional conversation. We were trying to find things to talk about. We're like, yeah, Remnant's cool. If you guys got past that point and you got to this point and to the heart and soul of what this podcast is, then kudos. And with that being said, go fuck yourself.
No, not that again.
No, I'm just kidding. Like and subscribe, stay safe, and stay healthy.